Hello, can you hear
Hi
me?
there. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, I can hear you just fine.
That is,
I see you got your green screen back up again.
and it's actually kind of working.
Is this real time or is this just an image?
No, this is a picture,
This is a picture,
right?
not a
Not a
camera
camera,
looking out there.
right? Yeah, not a camera, just a still static picture.
Uh,
Um,
Let me get my screen set up here. So we are the lone attendee. I guess we're a little early, right? Yeah.
yeah, a few minutes. I saw I saw that you joined, so I came and to say hey and whatever. I figured out that if I move the actual green screen down further,
Yeah.
and if I take my workbench and I bought some magnets because my workbench is metal, and I magnetized all the green up, it
So this
seems
is
to
like
work
a
better.
shower curtain with magnets, right?
Kinda, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I found if I moved, instead of having three pieces over here on this side, if I moved it down, it seems to work better. You can still see on this side where it's,
See the door. Yeah.
yeah, well, you can kind of see, especially when I put my hand in front of it.
Yeah.
So there's a mixed match of color there, but it seems like it's all right on this side.
Okay. Good.
So I can just sit over here like this, and nobody would ever know.
Okay.
But I got a bunch of pictures I can change around. I wish there was a way to like auto do the background where it just changed every couple minutes or something.
Like a screensaver, which would page through various images.
Yeah, but that's so out of scale. I'm huge. I'm bigger than the boat. I was waiting for like Vicente or somebody to say, I know what that one's from. I know what that one's from.
That looks like an image of Devil's Tower with some kind of fireworks over the top of it.
It's Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Did they actually shoot that at Devil's Tower? I guess they must have.
Yeah, I think they did. Well, I think they at least shot part of it there.
Wait a minute, is that the name of it? Devil's Tower? Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
It's in South Dakota or North Dakota. I don't remember which. I was there in 1955. That was the last time I've been there. We took a cross country trip for, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks, maybe even 6 weeks. Uh, it was a two station wagon caravan, and we went from Columbus, Ohio, which is where we're based, to Colorado, Denver, up through Estes Park, and up through Wyoming, and then up back across the Dakotas. We went through the Black Hills, and we
Yeah.
went through we went by Devil's Tower, and then wended our way back to Columbus, Ohio. And it was sort of the great adventure of my youth, so to speak. I think I was, well, let's see, I would have been 13 years old at that time. So,
Yeah,
so
that'd be
we
a
were,
big adventure.
well, particularly in those days. I mean, we didn't have cell phones, didn't have, so if the two cars got separated somehow or another, it was a big doodah, and they had my dad and the neighbor dad who was in the other car had some sort of protocol. Well, if we get separated, we'll meet at blah blah blah, that kind of a thing. So um, it was in the days of the AAA, what was called a triptych. I don't know if you ever saw those.
Yeah, I remember those.
They were maps that they were. Yeah. There's Black Hills.
Yeah, it says
Oh,
it's Wyoming.
the other place we went by, or that's Devil's Tower.
Yep.
The other place we went by is what's the one that has all the presidents on the side? Uh,
Uh, I knew it until you asked me.
yeah, me too. At any rate, we hit all the touristy spots, but it was first of all, it was in '55. The interstates just beginning to come online.
Yeah,
So there
they
were a lot
weren't
of
quite there.
places that you just went down a road and it was a highway, but it wasn't limited access or anything like that. There were sections of the interstate in place. Eisenhower basically was responsible for the interstate
Yeah,
system. But
yeah. I
at any rate,
remember 20 years ago, I helped a friend move out to California, and we went the upper part to get
yeah,
there, and we stayed on the highway the whole entire time, and then the highway just sort of disappeared, and
yeah,
it was like a single lane road.
okay,
And I was like, there was nobody around. I mean, it was all open, and everything. Uh 65 miles an hour, no speed, no stops, none of that. So uh it was a highway, but it was a single lane.
yeah.
It i it was just bizarre, and you could see where they had started to build the other side, and just never they never finished it. They just never.
So this was the beginning of an interstate, or this was the beginning of just a highway?
Well, it was, I think it was Interstate 70 just sort of disappears up there. And
Hmm. Well, 70
I think that's what we stayed on the whole time. But it
70
was,
starts on the East Coast and it peters out someplace in Utah, as I recall, because part of 70 goes down through Canyon Gorge.
mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's any 70 west of someplace in Utah, Salt Lake or one of the major cities in Utah. 80 goes all the way across. 80 goes from coast to coast. 80 crosses the Bay Bridge into San Francisco and it goes into New York. So you have both. So, oh, I see that Jim's got his glasses back on again.
And Mike's here. Hi,
Yep.
Mike.
Watch
How you
all in
doing?
3D, you know.
He is in
Yep.
3D.
Yeah, y'all use them look a lot better in 3D.
Okay.
Talking about my background before you guys got here. The Devil's Tower background.
Yep. So do you remember what the mountain is? It's got the 4 presidents on it now.
No,
You've had a
Rushmore.
I'm sorry?
Rushmore.
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Yeah, we went by Mount Rushmore also. Yep,
I've been to the Devil's Tower. Yeah.
I have too.
Yeah.
I was telling Leroy I was last there in 1955.
Whoa.
I've seen movies of it. I've seen it in movies.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive.
You get a very different view on it from the from actually being, you know, a few miles away from the bottom to what you see in photographs. It's hard to capture that in a photograph. That's my opinion.
You ought to look at it from the top.
Well, I'll tell you what. You go on. You go on up there, Jim, and tell me how it looks. Okay.
No way, Jose. That's bad looking.
Yeah, there are people actually climb those faces.
Yeah, they lose a few, but yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the only way I would be on top of that is if I landed on a chopper up there, I think. Isn't that some kind of an Indian spiritual place? I seem to remember. There was, yes.
My background, or
Where is that? Switzerland?
no?
Where is
Well, you probably won't be able to guess what that's out of, or where that's from, unless
it?
you're a
Well,
big.
it looks like someplace in Northern Europe.
Yeah, it does sort of. Are you a fan
Tyrolia?
of J.R.R. Tolkien?
Tolkien?
Tolkien.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Yes, sir. Now that's the way to go. You can really appreciate the spaces and so forth and so on. I need to put my glasses on. No wonder everything's out of focus. I got my little SDR thing going.
Okay.
Everything works fine except no sound. Let me show you. Let me share this, okay? I'm gonna do a quick shared screen here. Bum 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 bum. How do I get this on here? Let me just a minute.
First, I minimize the screen that I'm watch you guys on, and then I find it. Then I maximize the screen that I watch you guys on. And then I can find the green thing at the bottom. Share button. Yeah.
Or
Okay, just a minute. Try this. Nope, 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 nope. All right, Jim, what did you say you do? You minimize the Zoom screen? No, we lost Jim.
Yeah.
So
Got your off getting a coffee refill.
there.
all right, let's see if you can see this. I'm going to slide this on top of it. Can you see that?
Nope.
So you're trying to screen share?
Yeah. I'm trying to share another screen. I've got a series of screens lined up here and I'm trying to share one.
Bear looks
Okay.
really weird in 3D, man.
Oh yeah?
I like the glasses there, Jim.
What are they?
That's kind of cool.
You can do that too. Of course, it probably look a little weird in the current mode. Nothing but glasses.
Are you not seeing, when you click on share screen, are you not seeing other screens you can share?
I see a bunch of them, but I don't see the one that
Oh, you don't see
wanna
the one you want to actually share.
that's
need to pick-
correct.
Yeah, you need to pick one out.
Is it, you could just share your desktop,
Okay. Let me
maybe.
try that.
When you click share screen, then you pick the one you want to share.
Yeah, but the problem is that on the panel, it shows the one I want to share. The one that I want to share isn't
Isn't
there. That's the problem. Let's see. I will share my desktop. All right. And
There's a mouse on
now,
your desktop, man.
There's a mouse.
There's a mouse.
There we go.
There it is.
There we go. So let me move this over a little bit. Let me get rid of that. So I see I've got it. Let's see. This is in the middle of the FM band. Let me grab 10 meters.
Yeah, it looks like you've been up on 10 meters. Yeah.
Have you playing with some SDR stuff here?
Yeah. But he doesn't hear anything.
Oh, well, just a minute. Here's 10 meters.
There's something.
Okay, there's 10 meters. You should see a series of spikes along
Yeah.
here and the waterfalls down below, although it isn't very bright. At any rate, the problem is that if things are working properly, you're supposed to click on this. Can you see where my cursor is up here?
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be able to click on that and select the particular audio device you want. Well, when I click on that, nothing happens. I can click all I want. I can go to AM, I can go to FMS, narrowband FM, I/Q, all of that stuff, but I cannot get modem settings here. So, at any rate, but you can see this is the what is it, cubic SDR. And I've tried a couple of other pieces of software. I'll unshare this so I can go back to the, there we go. Oh, hi, Vicente.
Hi.
At any rate, so, but I don't get any sound. But I don't get any sound because I don't get any, the modem doesn't have any devices in its drop down. So that's where I'm stuck right now. The rest of it works fine. And I can go everything from, I don't know, someplace in the 160 meter range all the way to,
I wish I
I
had.
don't, 1.7 gigabytes, 1.7 Gigahertz.
gigahertz. I don't have Cubic installed on this machine. But in the waterfall,
Yeah.
when you see the waterfall, have you clicked on it
Yep.
and you still don't get any sound?
Yeah, that's the, I read the manual for Cubic SDR, and that's what it said to do. It said click on the waterfall,
Mm-hmm.
and in order to do a new modem, click on the waterfall and something should pop up. Well, I click on the waterfall, nothing happens. Okay. So at any rate, I've been fooling around with it since last week. Uh,
Yeah, Cubic
bottom,
is one of the easier ones to use. That's
well, bottom line is it seems to be working, and the way I tell that is it definitely gets hot. Although it doesn't get uncomfortably hot, I will say that it gets warm.
it gets warm, yeah.
But it doesn't get, and that may be because it's got the aluminum case on it.
It'll get hot enough that you don't want to touch it if it's doing decoding and everything.
Uh-huh.
So the fact that
Anyway.
it's getting warm means that it's doing something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I've got another, 2.5, 3 weeks to return it for replacement. So I will continue to mess with it. And if I can't get it going, I'm going to assume at that point that the problem is, it's faulty in some way or another. Bottom line is I've tried several other pieces of software on it, and I'd confirm that it's got the right chip and all that stuff. There's a whole slew of different applications you can use the SDRs with, and particularly the Noelec or which is the one I have. So, at any rate, it's a work in process, to say the least. I would have thought I could drop in the middle of the FM band, like 88 to 108, and pick up an FM station and listen to it, but
you should
no
be able
such
to.
luck.
Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest band to get is the FM band.
Well, if it goes down far enough, you can get the AM band also.
Yeah.
But
but the FM band, at least around here, it's full. I mean,
yeah.
you have to like discriminate against signals because they're on top of each other. So so at least around here, even a weak signal you should be able to get. But
I'm sitting on top of a hill here, so I should have good signals, and based on the waterfall
and looking at your waterfall, it looks like it's actually clean too. There's not like a whole lot of noise or anything.
Yeah. So at any rate, so as I say, it's a work in process, and I will eventually get it going, or I will return it and get another one. This is not the cheapest one. The cheapest ones are the plastic ones. And this one was rated moderately well without going overboard. So I think the dongle by itself is around 30, 32 bucks, something like that.
If you start Cubic without plugging your SDR in and just select the default device off the list.
Yeah.
And then click on the waterfall, you should at least hear static.
I have not tried to do that. So I will try that.
I mean,
so in other words, with no device there.
Yeah, you're not using a device, you're using the microphone as an input.
Okay.
but you should at least hear static, or maybe even hear yourself come back.
Okay.
But uh, if that's not working, then I would say there was something wrong with your install with Cubic.
Well, actually, I've installed Cubic a couple of times, but the default out of the repository, out of the Ubuntu repository seems to work fine. I mean, you just do an apt install
Yeah.
Cubic SDR and you're done.
But when you start it, if you start it without your SDR plugged in, there should be your choices should say like local, and then it default, and maybe it'll show your sound device, but just select on
Yeah.
default, and
Yeah.
then the waterfall should start doing something, and just click on that,
Okay.
and you should hear at very least you should hear static.
Okay.
They don't have
well,
any Windows version of the software?
Yeah,
Well,
Cubic SDR is available for Windows, Mac, Linux, basically Android, iOS. It's available for all of those. So, what was that, Leroy?
that's me clicking on nothing, making static.
Okay. All right. So anyway, the original purpose of this process was not to get an SDR radio going. The original purpose of this was to decode some of my 433.92 devices.
And
So
now
you
you
can
have
use it
fallen
for
down the rabbit hole, and
yeah, well, it was a classic thing. I start out to do one thing and something doesn't work, and then yeah, a whole new project gets spawned, so to
you're in
speak.
the rabbit hole now.
Oh yes, absolutely. So, so at any rate, so that's my project for the week. I've also read and watched YouTube videos until my face is turning green from uh, all different kinds of various SDR radio stuff. And it's a fairly popular topic. If you just go to YouTube and enter SDR, you
Yep.
can spend weeks watching those videos.
You
Some
got
of them are informative, and some of them not so much. And then you get not only the ones in English, but you get ones in
Russian.
Hindi and
the Russian ones are pretty bad.
the Russian ones and so forth and so on. As a matter of fact, as a sidebar, I was going to, one of the things I've done in the past is use websdr.org. And that's a site it's really interesting to try that out. I recommend everybody try that out. websdr.org. And what they have there is they have a whole list of sites where guys have SDRs, which they then pipe the output of their SDR onto the web interface. And you as a user, as a visitor, can go and tune across various places. And these are all over the world. I mean, a lot of them in Europe, all of the United States, some in Asia, and so forth and so on. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So you click on the link that's associated with any one of those sites, and then I don't know, this time of day you might have to go to 160 meters, something like that.
I don't know.
Try 80 meters. Where's this site?
I don't
is
know. I
this-
just clicked on something.
Well, it'll tell you at the top. It'll tell you where it is. Over the right-hand side, it gives you a little more detail.
That was Pacific Coast, San Francisco.
Okay. This time of day, Germany, there's a couple of German ones that are pretty good. And that center column tells you what all bands they run. They're not all just amateur bands, by the way. A lot of them are run various commercial bands, particularly in Europe. Because there's a lot of commercial commercial shortwave radio in Europe. Oh, there you can see your waterfall.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
We're not hearing much on that one either, huh?
Well, no, there's a problem, Leroy, and I can tell you what it is with that site. You must be using Firefox. Chrome has a problem with sound.
Okay.
I don't know if you're using Chrome or Firefox, but
Yeah.
if you're using Chrome, it's got a problem with sound.
Well, then we'll just stop that.
Okay.
I had it working. I've had them working before. I've used that site many times.
Oh yeah. Well, it's really quite interesting. Last night I was listening to some Russians having what was obviously an argument. You didn't have to speak any Russian, know that they were having an argument. Okay. You know, it's like when, say, a Korean woman is giving her husband a ration of shit. You don't have to understand any of the words. You know by the gestures and the tone of voice what's going on. You may not know the subject matter, but you know the interaction. So these two Russians were just, you know, and periodically I speak a little Russian, and periodically I would hear Yaponi Mayo, which means I understand. And they were going out at hammer and tongs. Any rate, so that's my toy for the week.
Remember, Vicente remembers these because Vicente bought some.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Looks
I
like you
am kicking myself all over the place because I cannot figure out how to actually get them to program.
But they were cheap.
They were cheap enough. There's my one of my programmers. And
You did something with it already? No.
do what?
Do you make any program or try everything?
I
Anything?
tried to flash the new firmware.
Uh-huh.
I tried to just program it, just straight programming it.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Mm.
And sometimes I'll get an error that the chip selected is not the right one or something like that. And other times they'll just say that it's the what is that? The ID, the chip ID is 000, which means it's not communicating with the chip.
You are doing it without the batteries?
I've tried it both
Yes.
ways, with the batteries, without the batteries. I actually, at one point, I actually thought that I bricked this one because the screen went off and never came back on.
Mhm.
And I took the batteries out for 5 minutes and put them back in and it worked. So I was like, okay, there's something weird going on there. So maybe at one point I actually was close to getting it programmed and the program failed or something.
What's the interface?
That is the, what is that? ICSP? No, ISCP connector.
ICSP.
Yeah.
In circuit serial programmer.
And I'm using this little USB AVR to program it.
What IDE are you using? ICSP. Okay.
I am just using the command line AVR dude to burn the firmware.
Ah,
And then if it works, then I could start using the Arduino IDE. So far, I have had absolutely no luck at getting these things to do anything. So I think I may end up having to wait for the rest of my, see my wires I soldered on there.
Mhm.
I actually ordered a header, but they have not gotten here yet. The stuff from China actually got here faster than the headers that I want from the States, which is amazing. But I just figured I'd share the progress of the frustration of getting this thing to work. My other thought is this was the original project was written a couple years ago. So they may have been using a different version of software or something to actually do this. But I don't know. I'm kind of frustrated with the whole thing right now.
Vicente, were you able to program it?
No, I'm waiting for Leroy.
Oh, you're waiting for Roy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I won't be a early user. I will wait for Leroy. When everything is working, I go into
Yeah, he's using me as the guinea pig.
Okay.
why we need to suffer together? Just do it yourself.
Yes. So,
I like the device because you have a screen and a keyboard, but I don't know what to do with it. Maybe a basic computer or your own calculator for stuff you want to do often. Maybe binary calculator to convert binary to X or to decimal or whatever.
You could crack bank locks.
sure. That's
Oh,
always,
no, that's,
You can have your passwords also here.
One of the Hackaday projects, somebody was playing games with it.
I saw
so what's the CPU in it?
It is,
the Arduino 80 mega 328, right?
it is a 128.
I don't know. Well, it's the same thing with less memory, right?
So it's an ARM device.
It's a AVR,
AVR.
AVR. Okay.
8 bits. It's not powerful at all. It's like an Arduino, but with less memory.
We're at 7 minutes, Leroy.
Yeah. I kind of watching. Not
But
really.
you can buy 10 of them for $40, something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It is
I think it's a failed project that they make a lot of them, but finally the business go wrong or something.
the schools retired them. These were made specifically for classroom use,
Really?
and the schools retired them. But it is a Atmega 128 RFA, which means it's
Okay,
got
it's the one that has the RF section inside,
Right.
right?
it's got it built in. It's got 6 timers, 128K flash, 16K SRAM, 40 bytes of EEPROM, or 4,000 bytes of EEPROM, the 2.4
Wow.
gigahertz
Yes.
transceiver. So it's not hateful, but it's not the best thing in the world either.
The problem is if you want to open it, you will destroy it because it's glued all around. It's very hard to open.
Yeah.
You need to crack this all around. It's not a good idea.
And if you try to use like a heat gun, you could melt it.
Yeah, but you will be making the wrong thing.
Anyway, that's my frustration right now. I gotta figure out why it's not programming. I have a feeling that it's got more to do with that than it's got to do with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got some sort of interface device on order?
Well,
No, just the connector, right?
I've got, so this is the original, what it looked like before the pogo pins went in. The pins go into the holes, and then this header right here
It's
is just a
surface,
6-pin
but it's
header.
surface mount.
Do what?
The 6-pin header is surface mount, or
Yeah.
it's through hole.
Yeah. But it's not hard to, I had no problem soldering to anything to that. It set up really, really easy. Whoever built this board actually made it easy for people that don't have a, SMA tool or anything. But the pins that I bought they're the pin, and then they have the little jets off of them. So I should just be able to sit it on there and dot solder onto it and be done with it. The hardest part is getting the pogo pins to come out straight, which you can see they're not entirely straight on that. Even after where'd my little jig go? I tried to build a little jig for them. Oh, my jig is
It's up here.
my jig is green.
It's green, okay.
The holes, my printer was having a hard time doing such small holes.
You are planning to use this block only as a guide for soldering.
Yeah, that was the whole idea. And only one of the holes actually turned out good enough that I could do that. But those are the pogo pins.
Yeah. The holes are in an array of 0.1 inches. I mean, or are different positions. I mean, you can use a breadboard, perfor board, and choose the holes that match the positions.
Thought about maybe a breadboard.
No, I mean those experimental boards,
The perf boards.
perf boards, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if a perf board.
Match the holes in some way.
Yeah.
The trick is to get all the pogos exactly parallel, though,
Right,
right?
right.
So that they're all vertical.
But you can use like a plastic tube or something to make the pogo go straight in the center of the plastic hole. I mean, the hole is bigger than the pogo a lot, right? The hole in the
Yes. 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 Yes.
Perf board.
Yes.
you
Yes.
can, you can use plastic tubes or
Some kind of
something.
plastic inserts.
Yeah. I,
1 minute.
Okay. We're running out of time.
let me open it. See you in the next.
You're gonna have to do it quick there, Vicente.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
a press fit in there or not?
No, it'll go right through it. All right. I'll see you guys in a few seconds
Okay.
when we start this other.
I'm opening it.
Yeah, those holes are way too big. Because I thought about that, just sticking it in there and soldering it. Those holes are way too big.
Okay.
All right. See you guys in a second.